Avengers, assemble! There, I said it so you don't have to. Of course, if you want to, you can. I can't stop you doing that if you want to. But this is today's review. This is my Saturday special review because I saw these by complete chance and decided to pick it up and go for it. We have, to my left, Marvel superheroes, the Avengers Age of Ultron things. Avengers Hydra Showdown, that's what it's called. And we have the Hulkbuster Smash. Pretty sure it's actually called Hulkbuster Armor, but I haven't seen the movie yet because it's only just come out. I'm filming this on Friday. I haven't actually got any arrangements to actually see the movies. I haven't got any arrangement to see the movie yet, but I probably will at some point. But here we go, a couple of things I picked up. Plenty of boxes of this, going at about £20. This was the last one of this, going at £30. Literally the last one in the shop. So that's £50 of Lego, presumably. So let's see what we've got here first. We've got some sort of off-road vehicle. Another off-road vehicle. We've got Thor. We've got a Hydra henchman, as he's called here. We've got Hawkeye. That's interesting. Do you see what they've done? He's got two faces, hasn't he? One with glasses and one without. I wonder if the Hydra henchman does the same thing. Probably not. But he's just simply called Hydra henchman, and that's, you know, like saying that he's a red-shirted security guard in Star Trek or an Imperial Stormtrooper. You know, he's going to die sooner or later. You know what? What the hell? I think we'll just give him a name anyhow, just to make him feel better. Maybe that's why he's turned to crime, because he doesn't have a name. We'll call him Bob. Henchman Bob. That sounds nice. Just put that to one side. What do we have here? A great big hulking robot suit for Iron Man, and presumably... Oh, we got the Hulk, we got the Scarlet Witch, we got Ultron Prime, and we got Iron Man Mark 43. I wonder if we're going to say Mark 47. Oh, that looks quite good. You've got the Hulk contained there, impudently smashing something that he can't smash. Scarlet Witch with Terminator-esque eyes and energy coming out of her hands. I wonder, what else have we got here? The usual stuff on the side, the actual official art work, MarvelKids.com logos and so on. A little bit of information. Must have one of those stands to help simulate flight. Stimulate flight? I wonder if that's a possibility. And what have we got on the back, if I can find the back? We've got launchable weapons, we've got a spring creature. He can really jump and knock something off, apparently. And what do we have over here? Same sort of stuff, official box art. Somewhere, I suppose? No, official box art. Just the story on the back that shows you that you can believe an Iron Man can jump really high and hit a witch who's flying somehow. And that's obviously how Tony gets in and out of the place. Projectile weapons and so on and so forth. Well, there's a comic book included. And there's a comic book included there as well. We're going to be spoilt here. Which one should I open first? I wonder... Oh, what the heck. We'll go with this first because it's closest to hand. I've just realised it doesn't tell you how many bags there are. I'm going to guess 3. Let's see if it disappoints me or not. 1, 2, and stickers. Any more box stuff? No. 2 bags. Oh well, I was wrong. Oh well. Well, we'll put these to one side. Let's not mix and match. Let's open this one up. And I'll say this, I'm quite glad that they haven't for once had one of the Lego features posing as if they're the Fonz and going, hey! Because that is actually starting to get somewhat annoying. Right, how many bags do we reckon for this one? I'm going to guess, because of the size of the box, 2. No, 3. Technically 4 if you count the fact that the... Oh, come on. Can't you give the Hulk a bit more articulation than the legs? Oh my god. Well, that's... I was going to mention earlier that there's another piece that I've reviewed that isn't up yet because it's still being edited, but it'll be up probably sometime next week, where I was somewhat disappointed with the overall build quality of the item in question. You'll know it when you see it. It basically has me doing stuff like this with something I don't like. That said, just to grab his Hilton back, you can see where I put some of the parts on the other stuff earlier, hidden off camera. That's it. From what we can see and feel here, it's a quite solid lump. So, tell you what, we'll open this up first. Hulk has been rendered armless. Oh, yes, that's terrible, I'll admit it. Must be some notorious plan to try to neuter him. Oh, you need parts too. Alright, you need other parts somewhere to actually connect the arm and the hand and the body. Obvious lines from where it's all been put together, and there's no articulation anywhere in the main body itself, but what the hell, beggars can't be choosers. Alright, jump cutting in 3, 2, 1, and we're back. And I've got to be honest, that was probably about an hour or so, but that's because I was tired to begin with, and I wanted to take my time to enjoy the process. Which I did. As far as these are concerned, I'm just showing the Avengers, Thor and Hawkeye and their vehicles and so on. These are fairly simple enough builds. I think I've seen something very similar to this somewhere else, so it's still fairly unique in it of itself. It's got some sort of cannon here, radio antenna and so on and so forth. You've got this section which can open up, but it's not. Oh right, I've got the lights in the way. Yeah, that can open up like that, and your henchman Bob can sit in like so, and sit down, and he can have some fun. He's got a launchable thingamajig here. There you go. That's shot off somewhere onto the floor, where it'll probably be found eventually when I actually bother to look for it. And then overall, it looks quite nice. Good build quality, except for this, which you might be thinking right now, which has just fallen off. It's actually meant to do that. The reason being is that you are supposed to use Thor to knock him off. It actually shows you that in the box art and everything. He's on one of these transparent stands, sort of gives the impression that he's flying because he has the ability to fly, and you're supposed to make him do something along the lines of that, and then collide with this to knock the cannon off, to make it go off. Obviously, if you don't want that to happen, you just have to get a spare peg to connect that up properly. I shall just retrieve my missing Norse god, wherever he may have gone. And here we are. Yeah. The cape is actually quite a nice cloth thing. They seem to be switching over to cloths more and more, though some pieces I've seen from some sets do still have those very stiff and flexible materials that they've used previously, which are a pain to use, although those also tended to have printed patterns on. We've got a hammer, Mullinger or something like that. If I've pronounced that right, that'll be a miracle, because I usually mangle words like that. I think that's actually a unique piece to him, and I'm pretty sure that Hawkeye's longbow is likewise unique to him as well. I certainly can't recall seeing anything like that in other sets. Although it is a bit difficult to actually get this to be posing up with him. Haven't really figured out a way to have him hold that convincingly. See, the actor is left-handed, so if you're right-handed, you would be holding the bow with your right hand, and you'd be pulling the arrow back on its string with your left hand. Obviously, as he's left-handed, you've got to do it the other way around, like so. So he would be holding it with his right hand. He's got a black glove, because that's the one he's going to be using to do most of the plucking. He's got two faces. That one there, we'll just get rid of that. And then this one with his glasses and an angry expression. And his hair sort of makes me think of a Super Saiyan minus the blonde. But there you are. And here we have Thor again. Body armour, chainmail, linked arms, and so on and so forth. They do a reasonable job. They don't look like the actual actors, but they look enough like the characters they're supposed to be to actually pass for them. And then we've got this Jeep buggy 4x4 type thing, you know, which is a nice solid looking piece. It's a little flimsy in some places, and it's got a steering wheel on the left hand side, because usually anybody who knows my videos and my regulations regarding vehicles is I will put the steering wheel on the right hand side, as that is how it needs to be for my country. But of course this is supposed to represent American superheroes in America. Admittedly, he's a Norse thunder god, and is he actually American, or is he from somewhere else? I don't know the character's comic book biography. But it's supposed to be set in America, so the naturally has to be a left-handed drive. And you've got the obligatory launchers. Whoops. Where the hell did that go? Well, that's fun. Yeah, I'll have to remember to go looking for those. On the other hand, we have the Hulk, who has somehow been captured by, I assume, the Scarlet Witch, who seems to have managed to capture him by locking him up by putting things in front of him. There's absolutely nothing behind him, so if he thinks to turn around, she's buggered. But of course he's the Hulk. He can escape. He's free. He doesn't have to think about it at all. He's just a lean, mean, angry, killing machine type thing. Yeah, as you can see, she's supposed to be flying in the air, so they've given you this transparent thing, which doesn't do a particularly good job of staying upright, although that might be intentional, because as he is the Hulk, he is known for getting angry and smashing things. But it's just as well we've got Iron Man and the Hulkbuster army to sort of do stuff. Just to show you, that's what happened when that fell off. It's not exactly a secure build in that regard. But as far as Iron Man's concerned, in this Hulkbuster armour, he's got quite a good range of articulation, full 360 in the arms, and the elbows bend convincingly. The hand does a very good job of becoming a hand. So of course, if the Hulkbuster armour feels like it can not actually grab hold of the Hulk, because there's nothing large enough for it to actually grip onto. No, the Hulk's just going to keep falling out of his hand. But of course he's also got a gun, which I haven't actually loaded up for safety reasons. Let's just see if we can pull out a bit to... There we go. We've got a gun here, which is not loaded up at all for safety reasons, although there are repulsors either side, and of course a power core there, and more thrusters on the back. The legs are a bit of a oddity. You've got good range of motion to make it kick backwards, but when it comes to kicking forward, you're a bit buggered. I haven't actually thought to test the weight balance on this thing. Other robot models I've seen can sort of they can sort of balance, but this one can't. Not that well on one leg anyhow. There you go. The Hulk has articulation just in the arms. The arms, as you can see, have great big open spaces there, so you might want to not expose them too much. The hands can move around a full 360, and that's about it. Otherwise he's just a very large, mean, angry machine beast who's trying to break my camera. Not alternatively trying to hump it. Of course, the interesting thing I read more recently about the first Avenger movies is that they didn't actually anticipate, the Hulk hood, if you know what I mean. There's absolutely nothing to simulate any kind of male genitalia. You've got the ridiculously muscular physique, and absolutely nothing in the trousers. Not sure why they didn't do that. They must have felt they had to do something to, well, really piss the Hulk off, I suppose. Yeah, I'd be rather angry if somebody had made a... Well, if somebody had done that to me, I'd be rather angry, that's all I can say. Anyhow, so we have the all-singing, all-dancing Iron Man Hulkbuster armour. And of course we got Iron Man himself, who seems to be missing one of his repulsor things at the moment. As you can see, he's only got 2 of his boosters going on his feet, so he's got 1 going on his hand. I don't know what's going on there, to be honest. But he's got that stand thing that Thor has. And he's got a jump function, but he can't get the power to knock the Hulkbuster armour off. Let's just retrieve that and try again. More power. He seems to have lost his stand. And he's gone shooting off into another direction. There you are then. That's interesting. So of course, if you want to make use of Tony in the Hulkbuster armour, you just open it up like this and... Ah! It's Ultron! Run! So if you're wanting to have Tony mess around in the army, you just put him in like that. You'll close this section up like so, and you put the helmet down. Now, I've never actually seen the Hulkbuster armour in the comics or any cartoons, and I haven't seen the movie yet because, you know, I just haven't yet. It's only just came out. But, or at least I'm under the impression that it's just came out, because I've seen some reviews of it that are from the UK, so it seems to have somehow managed to get an advanced UK release over the American release, which is a bit odd, given it is an American movie about American superheroes. But there you are. It does remind me of one thing I have seen in Iron Man's comic books I've seen before. He had deep sea armour, which basically was the same sort of thing but designed specifically to go in the water, and it basically looked like a massive diving bell type suit, if you know what those look like, but with a glass top instead of the great big metal brass thing with the panels on the sides and the front to sort of let light in. And he was in turn inside that he was wearing specially designed Iron Man armour to act as a sort of backup, so if anything happened to the external armour that he was wearing, he could abandon it, shoot off in more regular armour, and then obviously escape. Which he had to, because he was fighting against the Russians. It was a 90s comic, so the Cold War was still sort of a bit of a thing. But overall, quite a nice piece. It looks good. The only thing I don't like is the legs don't have that much articulation, and you've got the massive overlap of the Lego Technic pieces here. I suppose you could get around that by pulling the legs out a bit. No, he's legless, not for the first time. Ha ha ha. But then you've got the problem of them coming sort of loose a bit, but I suppose you could do that. You could probably find some way to work around that, but overall, I think both sets are quite worth the quite worth it. The complexity of the robot is going to give you quite a challenge in its own right, unless of course you're used to building the robots. This little piece, it's a bit of a naff token gesture to somewhat contain the Hulk, and you can see what happened just when it fell off it fell off my table, and it smashed itself up quite easily. The Scarlet Witch has magical powers, or her mutant powers, or her not mutant powers, her special powers, because they're not supposed to refer to the fact that she's a mutant, or that she is the daughter of Magneto. Only I think they've retconned that one out of the comics now. But c'est la vie. Speaking of comics, there's 2 things I'm going to show you next. First of all, I'm going to show you the instructions that came with the Iron Man armour. It's actually, as far as Lego boxes are concerned, as far as Lego collections are concerned, it's fairly unique in that you do it this way, instead of the more traditional version like this. It's all flipped through like so. This time, it's more like a book to some degree. And you just do that, but hey presto, there you go. But then they both came with comics. Yes, comics. Comic book superheroes with free comics, I assume free, that come with the Lego collections. And the first thing you see is that it looks like it's exactly the same comic. And that's because it is. And it's a rather cheap feeling material as well. And one thing that becomes immediately obvious is that it's obviously done in Lego style. It looks alright, it's somewhat stylish, but there's no dialogue as far as I can see, or if there is, I just haven't bothered reading it. But you can see there's the adventure involving these characters from the other set. Hydra henchman Bob is being chased by Thor, who isn't flying for some reason, and Hawkeye, who's flying, who's driving. And there you go, he manages to smash up the vehicle and saves the day, and oh, there's Bob, about to be anally raped by Thor. Possibly. There's Avengers Tower, and there's Ultron being created, and instantly attacking Stark because he knows he's a drunk and should be, well, getting help. Stark calls for help with his drones, who all get pwned big time by Ultron, much to Tony's annoyance. Thor comes along, lays the smack down, and then it turns out Ultron's got his own drones already. Is this how the movie works? This doesn't really look that good, does it? Hulk's been contained somehow. Oh, that's how she's supposed to be doing it, with magic to contain him in a force field. Yeah. So Ultron knocks Iron Man out the way. Tony decides to upgrade his software, calls in the Hulkbuster armour, and bonds with it and smacks down on a very surprised Ultron, who didn't see that coming. Hulk manages to get free. Wanda lies down the floor, comatose, I assume, and Ultron buggers off. They call up Captain America, who's got yet another toy for us to play with, and Ultron plots his revenge. Looks like Black Widow's up to something. She must be piloting the jet. Oh, look, yes, there's an explosion. Somebody's lifted the police van up and away, and off they go. I'm not really invigorated with this comic book. It's one of the least interesting ones I've ever seen. Captain America throws his mighty shield, and the van has to yield because it's a shield thrown into a vehicle which is moving away from the shield, so naturally, of course, it just falls over. And there's the Vision making some sort of appearance. My God, he has looked better. I wonder if he's got a virus. Alright, well, there you go. I don't know about you, but I'm somewhat exhausted from all of that. It also doesn't help that, for whatever reason, the heating in my house has gone absolutely ballistic. I am sweating like a pig, and I'm not doing anything to warrant it other than just playing with Lego and doing a review. Whew. Well, I'm going to have to call it quits. I'm going to have to try to sort out the heating, figure out somewhere to put all this Lego, and of course edit this video and get this up on Saturday. Saturday the 25th of April. Well, I hope you've enjoyed it. Please let me know what you've thought below. Comment, rate, like, subscribe, share the video, please. Doodle pip.